And a big welcome to Big Talk here on Global Television, where we'll be taking a look at big conversations and making rounds. And of course, it is a good time for today as the president, that many Nigerians were asking of his whereabouts. The presidency have announced his return back to the country upon his official visit over the course of many weeks. And the silence of the presidency was also questionable as to the whereabouts of the president. The question many Nigerians are asking regarding the state of the nation is particularly due to the fact that Nigerians are facing huge issues of taxation. The recent cybersecurity levy introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria, implemented due to the fact that it was already signed into act. And there are several reactions on the social media, and of course many Nigerians are getting to add their voices to the conversations and to ask, where is our president? What is the president doing regarding all of this? Is the man that told us that he was from day one he will hit the ground running? What happened almost a year right now to his administration? What change has he been able to put in place other than trying to push a lot of blames to the past administration? I'm being joined by my colleague to take a look at what Nigerians are particularly reacting to the state of the nations regarding the whereabouts of the president, the return of the president, the taxation by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and all of that issue here on the program Big Talk tonight. Do stay with us. When we return, we'll be taking a look at that convention, and of course Anthony Momodu is live here on the program to join us on the convention. Do stay with us. Well, it's time for still stay with us. Anthony Momodu is live on the studio to add voice to what Nigerians are reacting to the whereabouts of the president, the return of the president, and the actions by the Central Bank of Nigeria. I understand he took you on these conversations earlier today, but let's bit to get into the views of Nigerians regarding the conversations they're having around the return of the president. Anthony Momodu, good to have you on the program.
Always a pleasure being here.
Yes, you reacted towards some of these issues that we are about to highlight. The president is back to the country. Do you feel that there is anything special about it? Nigerians were asking, where is our president? Where is our president? Now he's back. Do you feel that he's get to fix a lot of issues?
I think we're not surprised that this about his 20th or more trip since resuming office. And I think the presidency is becoming more strategic, like the adage in Africa that says the bird has learned how to pet without, so that the hunter doesn't get it shot down. So when the president travels, yes, they come under different guises. The most recent one is the fact that they tell you, okay, he's gone for a business summit, the invitation by a specific presidency or prime minister of the Dutchland, and on the sidelines, you always hear at the sideline of his visit, he's going to meet with the Dutch Nigerian business community and all that. But from some quarters, it's been rumored that aside all this business trip that is alleged that the presidency does attend, there's also the matter of his health status and going to get health care, but without making it known to Nigerians, so they can't go under the covers of business trips, because he's now becoming more business-minded than the minister.
That is trying to get investors to come into the country.
That's always the excuse, trying to attract investors to the country. But it's sad because every time the president seems to be away, we see some Draculan laws and policies being signed into law, being implemented, and it's like Nigerians are made to pay dearly for trusting and voting in the APC government. For Mr. President, he says, tighten your belt, lest there be structural ways of expenditure. But the presidency has been spending more in the number of trips he has been to. So it's like you tell your people, do this, do what I say, but don't do what I do. I wish Nigerians could afford the luxury of traveling everywhere they wanted. Then I guess it would have been a different ballgame. But let's see if the presidency's coming back to the country would change things, especially yesterday that we had the Niger Delta leadership, through very strong words at the Inspector General of Police, asking him to protect the Constitution and urging the IGP, talking about Kayode Egbetokun, to speak to Mr. President to ensure that he does not put the interests of the APC party over national issues. So there are a lot of issues the presidency should be attending to, and we hope that he will do the needful and the right things are done, and reversal of some of these policies like the cyber security levy. It beats my imagination. It shows how insensitive those in power.
We're going to come to that. I mean, when we are talking about issues of president travels and return, I mean, I'm wondering, does it mean that if the president is not in the country, I mean, ministries will stop working, agencies will stop working, parastatals will stop working, and some of these institutions and structures that we have in place? Because I understand the fact that the presidency doesn't have to work alone. So it gives us a question to the fact that, I mean, for us to begin to ask questions, what happened to all of these persons that are wasting? I mean, because you understand the cost of governance is one of the issues that we are facing in this country. So the president have appointed several ministers, even more than any other administration, I mean, agencies and all of that, but the jobs are still very far from getting to the target. It gives us questions to what are the ministers doing? What are the directors of agencies are doing? Are they just getting to rides and prados, I mean, in the city, and also get public funds, I mean, to something that is not really lucrative for us? Because it's quite sad that we have to wait for him until he's around.
The truth is that it's not like they're not doing anything, but their work can only get to a specific level where you probably need a clearance, or you need some documents to be signed off for whatever policy or implementation or monies to be released. So once the presidency is out, this also gives, at that time when the president is not around, that's when the chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, and others begin to hold sway and call the shots. But in as much as they call the shots, they can only call it to a certain level, and they have to still wait for the president to return back to the country before there's a final, approval on certain issues. But it's always worrisome that when it comes to policies or implementation of certain things which affect the common man and which is of the good of the presidency, they don't need the president to be around. In fact, those things are done most times when he's not around. So it tells you whatever they are doing is deliberate.
I mean, a lot of issues to be worried about and questions. And now that the presidency is back, do we get to expect any other change? Because it's almost a year. Several promises moved by the federal government to restore, stability regarding economy due to the hardship that many Nigerians are having to face with, innocent Nigerians are having to face with, because we may not really know what may have actually happened in many administrations that we are trying to point fingers at. But what happened to the government? 8 years of APC, the last 8 years. Another year to go, 4 years to add to that. APC holds the country, owes the right and the privileges for them to restore whatever mandate and whatever promises they made to Nigerians. And that is why Nigerians are really dragging. And if you go on Twitter right now, there is quite an hashtag. You have to go there by yourself and get to see what Nigerians are reacting. But we'll take a look at issues of reaction to cybersecurity. Reno, former special assistant to the president, Goodluck Jonathan, has reacted to that issue, and sometimes it's coming out from a point of trying to make a sense. But Nigerians are not agreeing to the fact, because of the fact that no matter whatever you want to do in issues of taxation, you will not invest it. To some persons, taxation is investment. You have to first invest on the people, invest on your citizens before you start getting back, and that is what Nigerians are getting to react. But let's take a look at what Reno Omokri has to say regarding the new cybersecurity levy made by the federal government. Reno says the cybersecurity levy is for your own good. He's talking to us and reacting to that in his tweet. This cybersecurity levy is not a policy or a regulation of Tinubu administration. Those bandying that claim are either ignorant or dishonest. This is a policy that has existed since 2015. Like many things in the Buhari administration, it was implemented in breach, which is why cybersecurity suffered under that unfortunate administration. The reason why Binance was able to siphon $25 billion, which represents 6% of our GDP, out of Nigeria in just 1 year is because our cybersecurity architecture is porous, and as long as it is vulnerable, Naira will continue to be unstable. Therefore, it is more profitable for you to pay a 0.5% cybersecurity levy and secure the Naira from all the trade, foreign and domestic. I mean, several reactions to all of that. Anthony, this is quite, it may be going in the sense of trying to make a sense, because sometimes trying to defend government is always making some people try to look foolish. What is your reaction to what when he's trying to prove?
In as much as I want to agree with him that yes, it might be for the good of the people. But when you overtax the people, it doesn't make sense anymore. Because when you're talking about cyber security levy, there are certain services that is expected from the government to its people. Like they say, it's a social contract between the government, the governed, and the government. So we expect that there are certain issues or the issue of cyber security that you shouldn't overburden the people by saying Nigerians have to pay certain amount. What's the guarantee? The government has not been very honest with us as regards even the taxes that have been paid hitherto before now in other areas and in other fields. We cannot tell that this is what the money has been used for. We talk about bad roads across the country. Nigeria pay taxes, you pay taxes, I pay taxes, but we cannot say for sure that X amount of our taxes is used to do X, Y, Z. We see in the Federal Capital Territory different youths, companies wear different uniforms, those who chain cars when you park on the road, some in different...
Where the money going to?
Where is the money going to? Some will tell you is the FCT coffers. The FCT coffers will still get allocations from the center. So it just tells you that the fact that the government is not sincere or not transparent or economical with the truth as regards where these funds are going makes it very difficult and makes it difficult for people to want to pay more taxes. The ones we've paid, where is it heading to? And for this cyber security, I think it's unfair to say it's because Nigerians are not paying levies. That's why our cyberspace is porous. That's why Binance got away with it. So are you saying if Nigerians had paid this levy, then suddenly Binance would not? Solved, it doesn't make sense. It's just playing smart with us. We know the amount of money that was expended during the Burutai era to purchase different forms of equipment. They opened the cyber security war room. And
even the Office of the National Security Advisor have been well empowered to tackle
the cyber security war room. They call it control room.
Smart room, whatever
they gave to it. The idea was for them to be able to watch over the Nigerian cyberspace. What has happened to it? We've got the Nikon Sat. We were told that the Nikon Sat, one of the roles it was going to play was to, because the satellite was in orbit, we could get footages of movement of bandits and whatever. We were also told that the NIN and the registration told us that all these registrations we're doing, they could, with the fingerprint, they can catch these criminals. But fast forward after Pantami's era, what happens? We're told to restart the whole process again. So the government hasn't been completely honest with Nigerians, and I think in as much as he was making sense somewhere, but I think he goofed when he said it was because of that Binance got away with whatever they did. So he's saying because Nigerians didn't pay levy, that's why. I think that's not fair enough.
I mean, if you look at what the central bank, the memo has it that the banks will save almost a 3 trillion naira, almost a 4 trillion naira in most cases, and then you begin to ask, the budget of this country is about that 3 trillion and all of that. How are we sure that the National Security Advisor, because some of the fund is to be pushed to the Office of the National Security Advisor, does the National Security Advisor has the capacity, has the right team to handle this fund?
An NSA that couldn't hold forth a balanced
executive. These guys are accusing them of trying to bribe. I mean, to get bribe from them.
I think if we're in the same client, Ribadu should be out of office. He should have been sacked, or he should have been
absolutely, I agree,
for the fact that a Binance executive was able to leave custody. And this same person is now fronting or leading for Nigerians to pay this is
under his cover. Over 4 trillion naira is expected
I think
to raise in all of this.
It's very sad, and that's why most people believe that this government seems to all they are interested in is
in taxing
Nigerians to the bone.
And this is just a confirmation of God's will alone in Twitter reacting to this issue, saying, I read the tweet, Tinubu, the self-acclaimed master strategist, is milking a dying economy where citizens are already dying in stampedes because of the collection of a mere rice. I mean, several hashtags to that. I mean, if you can actually get that tweet on the screen. Look at the economy already, and many persons are saying, allow the poor to breathe, because he's even the one that
we're talking about electricity tariffs, we're talking about fuel crisis, we're talking about insecurity, we're talking of poor wages for Nigerian workers, and on top of this, they're now talking about cyber security levy. It's laughable that what the only thing we see is anything that would tax the common man to the bone is what the government is interested in, and that's what the government is quick to implement. I remember when the CBN was given the mandate by the National Assembly to ensure that all these hidden charges of banks are stopped. Up to today, they were not able to effect that directive. But when it comes to directives that will put more money in their pocket, they are quick to effect it. And I think it's a very sad commentary.
I mean, the dying economy as it is right now is already bleeding, and Nigerians are already saying, allow the poor to breathe. President Tinubu, allow the poor to breathe. That is already, if you go to Twitter, that is what many Nigerians are reacting to, the state of the nations or regarding the mood of the economy. And what the president is doing is return back to the country. These policies of taxations, daring, electricity tariff, and all of that, just as Anthony have already highlighted. These are the issues that Nigerians are battling with. And let me take another tweet still on the social media space reacting to this issue. Tinubu increased fuel price by 450%. Tinubu increased electricity tariff by 400%. Tinubu is about to increase bank charges. Voluntary slaves and Bathurians are exempted. Only obedient will suffer. I mean, some persons are already dragging the issues of politics back to this scenario. And if you go to the clash between Peter Obi and the president, I think, is he speaking too much or already standing his ground?
We're in 2024, 3 years to go, and I hope Nigerians in 2027 would remember all these challenges and sufferings they're going through.
Would this translate to election vote?
We hope so. We hope that in 2027, Nigerians would recall all these phases they've gone through, all the broken promises, all the policy somersault, all the fact that even at the sub-national levels, the fact that the ruling party, like we see the flagrant abuse of power of the constitution, we see what's playing out in River State, for instance. It's just very obvious that the FCT minister, alongside the president, are making things not work in River State. So I think it's very sad when a government, all they do is seem to be at the wrong end of everything that's wrong in the country. So I think this is what we expect the electorates to always remember when it comes to election time, when this will come to seek for their vote. We get to ask them questions as regards, did they keep their previous promises? And for all the policies they did implement, was it to the favor of the Nigerians, the masses at the lower cadre? That's a very strong questions Nigerians should be asking, and it's very sad that the religious leaders, the traditional rulers have not talked enough, and the civil society organizations have not spoken up enough. Aside what we get from the NLC and TUC, I think these are the times we expect religious leaders, other statesmen like Edward Clark and co. To come out and speak truth to power, so that this government would be put on their toes to have a think for every policy they want to implement.
I mean, several reactions to that, but let's take a look at what SERAP has actually said regarding this issue. The Tinubu administration must immediately withdraw the grossly unlawful CBN directive to implement Section 44 of the Cybercrime Act 2024. which imposes a 0.5% cybersecurity levy on Nigerians, will see in court if the directive is not withdrawn within 48 hours. I mean,
I think I'm not really so impressed with SERAP. They've been in court for as much as I can remember, but the question is, do they come out victorious? Do they do taking the government to court? Has it led to reversal of policies and all that?
I mean, questioning even the court, the integrity of the court is also at stake.
We've not seen that happen, and the CJN obviously is in the hands of the presidency, and as long as the judiciary always play to the gallery, always play to the tune of the presidency, we're not going to see any different thing. And I think also for international organizations and bodies, I think they also need to speak up because when this taxation, double taxation, excessive taxation is allowed to fester, then I think they're not being fair on the Nigerian people, because the elites, this does not affect them in any way.
Several issues to raise as the president is back, and expectation is actually on the high side at what happens to the current state of the nation, where many Nigerians are already calling on the president to step up his game. I mean, it's almost a year. May 29 will be another year. I mean, a mark of a second year of his administration. Recall it was on that day that subsidy, was actually removed, and this has also brought the many issues that we're facing in the economy, hardship, issues of transportation. Government have not provided the CNG buses and all of that. Issues have been highlighted, and the focus has been the fact that the president, you promised to deliver the job. You promised us that you do the job, and you got the job, and you're not doing the job. And I mean, Nigerians are also saying that if you cannot get the job done, please, reaction to the Twitter.
He was doing the job from the backward end, reverse fashion.
Because there's no evidence. Government are trying to explain. One Nigerian said, you can explain that, and no evidence.
But it as much as I know that it's not magic. Everything has a process to take. But
one thing has not been done. Is there one thing that you feel?
That's where I'm going. The issue is that everything has a process, but it looks like the process for this government seems never ending. We're told about the CNG buses. It's taking forever for it to come. We're told about the refineries. It took forever. It's taking forever for it to stick on.
Since December, they told us that the refineries will...
We also had the student loans. It got postponed for several months. Finally, it was launched, but have we seen one Nigerian student to say, I have benefited? No. So it looks like everything they touch turns south, and it's very disturbing. And we're looking at, they talk about foreign investors coming in. We have more foreign companies leave Nigeria than come in. And so for those that have come in, where are they heading to? Are they heading to trouble spots where there's so much insecurity? So it means their investment is in areas that do not benefit the Nigerian nation as a whole, but benefit those who come take our natural resources, like in Zamfara, invest in those gold mines, take the money out of the country. Are they the kind of investment we're seeing? Because even the job, in terms of unemployment rate, we don't even want to go there. The inflation rate now is, initially it was pinned to Binance, now it's no longer Binance. It was, we're talking about exchange rate. Exchange rate, at the point Naira started doing well. So where are we heading to?
Where are we heading to? I mean, the question that the Nigerians are, Anthony, not just Anthony is asking, what the Nigerians are also asking, what is the next step? I mean, we are trying to discourage issue of Japa, and many Nigerians are even still considering that route, because it's already seems that they are bleeding, and the fact that the economy is quite very porous, and it's actually
I think the government is, at times you have a feeling the government just wants to suffocate the people. Talking about the Zakpa syndrome, just 2 days back, we had Samuel Odi go to cover the protest with Nigerian nurses. The issue is the portal where they get their certification to be able to travel abroad, to certify that they are certified nurses and can provide the healthcare. It's been shut down deliberately by the government, because government says they want to reduce the number of about 16,000 health providers that left the country in the last 2 years. They want to reduce it. That shows you the narrow mindset of the government, the selfish mindset of government. If you want to reduce or stop health workers from traveling out of the country, what do? You make the services better, you pay them better, make the health facilities better. No. Instead, what they do is shut them from going. and you're not improving their working conditions, you're not improving their pay, you're not improving the facilities, but rather you're stopping them from leaving. So it's like, die here.
Instead of dealing on the issue, you are trying to, run after those behind the actions.
It's very strange, the method they are using to develop the country.
Well, President Tinubu still have 3 years to go for his first 4 years. We don't know about the second 4 years, even when some ministers are saying that God have revealed to them. Umar said God revealed to him that Tinubu will make 8 years.
That is, you cannot take someone as Umahi seriously
in
terms of we're talking about spirituality now. If God was to talk to someone, I think God has so many imams and pastors he can
to reveal things to.
Yeah, but someone who is already compromised cannot see. He will see the messages he will be getting is going to be increased.
I think that was a political prophecy. So we can actually give credit to politics. Issues are already ongoing, and the president, we understand that you may have a good plan for us, and you may only be on the right path to fixing some of this issue. We may also feel the fact that you're also going through some rough path to get Nigeria to where we really want to.
I think I don't agree. You're being nice.
No, I'm not saying
when you say that going through rough path, someone who travels to the
the rough part is where
he wasn't suffering.
Yeah, the rough part is just been suffering. The rough part is the boldness for this government, because sometimes you see the boldness they're having to remove subsidy. Because of some things that we're not going well.
And the same president's son is in the board of one of the companies in the Lagos Calabar.
Some of the contract. President Tinubu, because the issue is the fact that many Nigerians are not in any way engaged, and the transparency is quite low, the citizen engagement is also quite very low, and so sometimes many Nigerians are just seeing the fact that you're not doing anything, and sometimes your actions by government are being suspicious, and sometimes we do not even know the right ones to do. So it is time for government to also understand that they need to make Nigerians know what they are doing, know what they are passing through. If they need, Anthony doesn't want to agree to the fact that government are going through a particular difficult whatever it is, I feel they should be able to communicate to us. Let's know what you are doing. Some of these issues might sometimes be addressed by simple transparency and citizen engagement. I think we can actually get some satisfaction from what he's doing. But then it's just a 1 year. It's not just 1 year, because Nigerians are counting. We wanted to count several things you've been able to. Subsequent on this program, we'll be highlighting sometimes to look at what you've done. In the process of getting the Democracy Day on May 29, we'll take a look at what the government have done so far, the policies, if it's doing well, or it has a ripple effect in the economy. That's a brief package on the size of a program tonight on Big Talk. Many thanks for watching, and many thanks for Anthony Mohodu for always giving us a background of a great journalist on the program on the Discourse Big Talk. Many thanks for joining us on the program. Yes, I will say again, of course, to take a look at several issues regarding, as we are keeping development, to see what the presidency is doing, what development has the federal government brought to your community, which is very, very paramount and important to you. My name is Edikat Michael. Many thanks for watching. See you again.